Oh, okay then. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Toy Talk. This is episode 2, actually. For those who haven't listened to episode 1, please do so. I promise you it's better than the Star Wars episode 1. Yeah, a lot of things happened. I got a lot of feedback, a lot of people reaching out, saying, okay, hey, we should probably do something together, which was so much fun to see. And also the usual suspects that I expected to not reply or do anything, they didn't. So thank you both for confirming what I already suspected. So Toy Talk, episode 2, what are we going to do? So last time was more about an introduction to me, and, I was talking about Toyplosion and Hendrick Collectibles. So this episode, I would like to introduce the listeners, you guys, to the structure of what's going to be Toy Talk, or how I see Toy Talk come to life and what it's all about. So, without further ado, let's run the intro and get going.
Toybox time machine, take me back to rainbow shells and a cabbage patch. Saturday cartoons where the magic's true. Toy Talk's my portal back to you.
And welcome back. I really like that intro. By the way, I got some questions like, oh, who's the girl singing and whatever. It's all AI people. I'm not going to take any credit for it. It's just through an app that I ran some suggestions, like, okay, I want this, I want that, such and such, and they made a few songs for me, and I use them in this podcast, mainly because they're also without rights, so I can't get into any trouble with YouTube and if I ever upload them to Spotify or whatever. So that's it. It's no one singing. It's just a machine. Okay, episode 2. As I said, last time was about me bumping into the chair. Really talking about, okay, what did what kind of adventures in toy collecting did I have for the past couple of weeks? Right now, I'm still on vacation. My vacation ends tomorrow, and my vacation is always a period that I reserve for non-toy stuff. I want to spend money on my family, on vacation, relaxing, doing other stuff, and so there wasn't a lot to do on the toy front for me. I did break the rule a little bit, more about that in a minute, but on the whole, I just went vacation mode. That ends tomorrow, and for me, the toy season starts again tomorrow. And before people start asking, next weekend is Vintage Toys of the Universe in Geelst, Belgium. I was going to say Belgium and Belgium, and it made like a Belgium mix. I shouldn't do that. Belgium. And I was going to go. I really, really was. I have the tickets and everything. I even arranged to carpool with someone. Tiago, thank you, buddy, for offering me the ride. But then life happens, and personal circumstances, not directly to me, but my father is keeping me at home. I'm going to stay at home. I don't want to travel too far away at the moment. And so, yeah. Choices had to be made. So I'm going to miss that. I will be going to Hogeveen next weekend. There's a vintage computer game kind of thing going on. I went there last year, scored some vintage toys of all places. So I'm hopeful that there might be a few little hidden gems in there. And it's only 15 minutes, 20 minutes drive. So should something happen, I'm home in half an hour tops. So that's that. So I hope everyone who's going to Vintage Toys in the Universe, please have a lot of fun. Bring me back something good. No, well, that's okay. I mean, I'm bummed. I mean, I went there once. I really enjoyed it. It was awesome, and that was the first one after COVID, post-pandemic, and it was amazing. Probably because it was such a relief to finally go to a convention again. But it was good. I bought a lot of stuff there. Bought some nice little vintage collectibles there. I don't know what I bought there anymore. I don't know. I'm sure I bought tons of stuff. I always do. So yeah, that was a bit of a bummer. I can't go this year. So be it. There's plenty of things to look out for in the months to come. So, toy adventures, I did not have a lot. As I said, I usually spend my money on my family during the vacation. I did break the rule a little bit by buying something that isn't vintage per se, but is linked to vintage, which was the Mondo She-Ra from the Princess of Power line. And Mondo is 1/12 scale, I think. Yeah, something like that, 1/10. And they're amazing figures, really pricey normally, and I think very hard to come by because it's, someone explained it to me, it's like related to Funko or it's distributed by Funko, and, you know, if you want to have them, you have to order direct. And I did try to order direct just a couple days ago for the new Master of the Universe He-Man, the 2000 version, the modern version, because I kind of like that show. It was good. I liked it for what it was, and well, the figure itself was not that expensive, but shipping, handling, import fees almost doubled the price. And I'm like, oh no. So yeah, I'm gonna let that go. But anyway, I got the timed edition She-Ra. She's on my Instagram page. She's on my Facebook page if you want to see it. And I was in doubt. I was like, oh, should I do it? Shouldn't I? What do I do? And I was like, you know what? Let's just go for it. Buy She-Ra. She's awesome. She's She-Ra. I got the timed edition, which is like a little bit of a deluxe edition, which comes with extra hands, extra head sculpt with the bangs, so you can make her look like the vintage the toy version. She got different crowns, everything, different swords. It's an amazing piece. I got a great deal on it, so I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's just do it. Yeah. So She-Ra, Princess of Power. That's about all I got, really, which was enough. I hear some people think, hey, man, but wasn't there a new She-Ra announced a couple of months ago at San Diego Comic-Con, the one with the horse, with Swiftwind? And, yep, there was a new She-Ra with Swiftwind. That's the reason this person that was selling me, whoops, I almost knocked over the microphone, that was selling it to me, actually sold this one because he was getting the new one. But the newer edition will set you back around $800 or euros, depending on where you live. And I'm like, nah, that's too rich for my taste. With toy collecting, I always have a golden rule. If I'm not comfortable with it, I'm not paying it. I don't look for worth. Some people try to sell me stuff like, yeah, but it's worth this. I know it should be, but it could be, but I'm just not comfortable spending that much money on an item. So if I'm not comfortable with it, I'm not going to spend it. So yeah, I'm not going to spend $800 on a She-Ra and a horse. Same thing goes for the 40th anniversary She-Ra that was announced by, I think, Mattel Creation. The She-Ra with Swiftwind, nice price, shipping and handling, way out there. I'm like, okay, skip. I'm not going to do it. Okay, enough complaining. Let's get to where we want to go. Toy Talk, the show, the phenomenon, the phenom, the showstopper, the main event, whatever it is. Yeah, what is it all about? Well, what I want to do, and some of you all have responded to that, which I really appreciate. Thank you so much. I will get in touch with you in the days or weeks to come. So we will work something out. I want to talk about what was in your toy box as a kid. What did you play with as a kid? What were the toys that you loved as a kid? And then we're going to fast forward to today. What's in your toy box now? So what do you collect now? Is it still the same stuff you loved as a kid? Did it differ? Did it change? Why did it change? Etc. So with this being still a monologue, I'm going to ask myself. So I'm gonna go do like a real in-depth interview with myself. I don't know what's coming because I can't trust myself. So that's what's happening right now. We're gonna dive right in to my toy box. Also, once again, that was just pure AI. So yeah, my toy box. What stuff did I play with as a kid? Was I a spoiled kid? I'd like to think I wasn't, but in hindsight, I did have a lot. I'm an only child, and from a young age, I always loved toys. Now that makes sense. Kids love toys, but I never outgrew it. I was 17, 18, and I wasn't playing with them, but still collecting them. So it's always been part of my, it's always been like ingrained into my system somehow. I remember, this is a funny story, a little bit to the side here. I was 17 or 18 years old, and a girl asked me out to go to, I think it was Groningen, to, movie, dinner, the usual stuff. And I got a hot tip for us. I was like, hey, man, the Batman animated series just got replenished at the local Bart Smith. You should go there. I'm like, well, shit. I got this girl with me. I don't want to look like a total nerd. I mean, being a nerd back then was not cool. It was enough to get you beaten up. And, but I did want to check out the new Batman animated series figures right there. So, okay, so I was like, okay, let's, I need to find an excuse. So we were in the bus, she was holding my hand, we were cuddling a little bit. It's like, okay, this is going where I want to go, but it's still not going to Bart Smith, where I want to pick up Batman figures. Oh my God, telling the story actually makes it more embarrassing. So I made up an excuse in the bus. I really hope that she's not listening. I don't think she is listening, but if she is, I'm sorry. It was a lie. I told her, I got to pick up some toy. I got to pick up something for my cousin's birthday. His birthday is this weekend. I got to pick up a toy, something a little bit boyish. He's 12, so a little bit action thingy. Could you help me out? And she's like, oh yeah, sure. So we went to the Bart Smith. And I ignored the Batman section because I didn't want it to look too obvious. I went to the model kits and the I think video games. I'm like, oh no, this is all too expensive. It's got to be like in the 20 guilder area, which was the price of a Batman figure. And she said, how about these? These are Batman. Doesn't he like Batman? I don't know if he likes Batman, but she went through it, and there was all these versions of Batman in there, and I had those. But I was hoping that there was a Joker in there because I didn't have the Joker yet, and lo and behold, there he was, the Joker. But she put that aside. It's like, oh no, this is just no, okay. So I'm like, what's that? She said, that's one of the villains, I guess. And I'm like, let's get him that one. He looks colorful and clowny. He might like it. I said, no. I know. Get him a Batman. A Batman is always a sure win. So I had to finagle my way out of there, talk my way out of that one. But in the end, the Joker came home with me. We went to the register. I paid for it. I had it wrapped up. We all know this, right? We all did this at some point in the toy store, buying toys for yourself and having the cashier wrap it up for you. The girl behind the counter wrap it up for you because you didn't want to look like a complete douche. So yeah, but how did I get here? Oh yeah, because the toys have always been a part of my life. I've loved them. I've always collected one thing or the other, toy-wise. And my earliest memories are of Star Wars. And I know some people that I know very well will go like, you bastard. But, my first memories are of Star Wars toys, getting them at the local Intertoys. And the older listeners might know this, might recall this. You had like this promotion where you bought like 2 or 3 figures and you got Darth Vader for free. So that's what I recall. I recall getting a Biker Scout, Logray, and a Gamorrean Guard, and then getting the Darth Vader for free. So I went home with a lot of these figures and I played with them, but they didn't really resonate with me because I hadn't seen any of the movies then. The first thing I saw was Empire Strikes Back when it was re-released just before the release of Return of the Jedi. So that makes sense. It made it make a little bit more sense. And then there was like, okay, so Darth Vader is his father? Holy shit. And I always thought the name Vader was weird because, Dutch word for father is father, and it's spelled the same way. So I was like, okay, but no. And in my playtime, Chewbacca was always the mightiest. He could defeat Darth Vader because he was big. He was bigger than Vader, so I could whoop his ass. I didn't know anything about it. Later on, I got to, as I progressed in the story more, as I knew the story more, I knew who the characters were, but that to me also limited my playtime because the Gamorrean Guard was not a good guy anymore, not a friendly guy anymore. Bib Fortuna and Darth Vader did not team up. They didn't. Vader never rode a town. And that to me ruined Star Wars as a toy. I was like, okay, I can't do anything with it because the entire story already has been told. But Star Wars was in my toy box as a kid. It was definitely in my toy box. The first Star Wars figures I ever got were the Tauntaun, an Empire Strikes Back Luke, and a Wampa for my birthday. My grandparents bought me that. I don't know how they got so lucky as to buy me that combination, but they did. So I'm pretty sure the person in the shop actually advised them, like, okay, this is what goes together, or maybe they saw the imaging on the packaging and like, okay, that one and that one go together. I don't know how they figured it out, but they got me that mix combination. And then I tried to make my own fighter plane out of paper for Luke, and there was like a lot of paper in my window still, and my dad was like, okay, what this mess? And he just picked it all up and threw it into the fire, burning my Luke. So my Luke was gone. And my mom went to the store, got me another Luke Skywalker, or so she thought, and it in fact was a Rebel Commander, which looks a lot like Luke with the scarf on the head and everything. But it was not Luke, and I was disappointed. I had another Star Wars figure, but it was not Luke, which I loved. And so they searched high and low, and I think my mom eventually, in the weeks later, found another Luke and got me a Luke. So I had Luke and the Rebel Commander. I played tons and tons and tons with them. And I loved doing that until the movies actually ruined it for me and limited my imagination. Another thing that was in my toy box, which I have a vivid memory of, was the A-Team. The A-Team toys by Galoob, and I'm not talking the smaller ones, I'm talking the larger ones. That one I got for Christmas from my grandparents, and I remember my grandfather going, I got you something for Christmas that you don't have yet. And I'm like, Grandpa, I have every toy in the world. What are you talking about? And then I opened it, and it was a B.A. Baracus. And I didn't know they had A-Team toys. A-Team was just on TV. I mean, I was totally into A-Team, and there it was, a B.A. Baracus. And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get this. Oh, but this is awesome. And I opened it up, and all the little tools, and I had no enemies to fight, but it was just B.A. fixing one of those cars that we had, those big plastic cars that you got at at the toy store, cheapy things. It was a Corvette, and he was just fixing the car, and I was just fixing everything under the hood and the wheels and taking it off and putting it back on again. It was the best ever. That was a toy that I thoroughly enjoyed, and in the weeks to come, I got the entire team, including Amy, and I loved those toys. I'm glad I got them back. I'm a little bit spoiling ahead to what's in my toy box now, but there you go. But yeah, it was an amazing set of toys. They were cheapy. They were very cheapy. I mean, the General Patch connection has been discussed, I think, but the smaller ones, the 3 3/4 figures, were just repainted General Patch figures with different heads by Galoob. It was cheap plastic. I mean, I have them now, and I don't dare to put any weapons in their hands of fear of the thumbs breaking or the crotches snapping. So, yeah, I got the big ones first, the entire line, and then my cousin got the smaller ones for his birthday in January. He got the combat playset with all 4 figures and all these extra things in there, and he got the van, and he got the armored vehicle, the tank, so to say. But since it was just me and my cousin, we always got presents for each other's birthday. So I got the van and the Corvette. So I had Face and I had BA, and together we had like the entire team. It was totally awesome. Then later on I got one of those action figure packs with the 4 figures just in there, and it was amazing. And I had General Patch figures. Look them up. It's just Galoob General Patch. If you see them and you're like, oh yeah, those are 18 bodies. And I had those, and they were the actual bad guys that the A-Team would fight. I never had, as a kid, the actual bad guys. I just got them later on. I recall seeing pamphlets and commercials in the stores, and I'm like, these guys look stupid. I never wanted them. I had my own army that could fight the A-Team, and in my stories, the A-Team did kill them. They were stone cold killers, but it was more about building the bases and everything. Oh, come to think of it, bases. The combat set, which I talked about, the 4-figure combat set with all the accessories, the tent and the boat and everything. If you flip it around, you see the A-Team figures in like olive drab fatigues, not the colorful blue, green, black, orange fatigues that they now have, but in like these olive drab combat fatigues. These are just General Patch bodies with A-Team heads. To further prove my point, that's just the same line. Okay, so the A-Team. Then came Masters of the Universe. I also had a lot of Masters of the Universe. I didn't have a lot. My friends had a lot, and I had a few. But I had a few cool ones, like Prince Adam, Battle Army He-Man, Battle Armor Skeletor, some odd figures, Mossman, Stinkor, Webstore I had. But I was missing a lot of the really, really, really good ones, because I was too late to the party. And my parents also fell for the Defender of the Galaxies, I think, or is it Defender of the Planets line with I forgot, with Zardoom and Quasar and Canis Major and Orion and Strong Arm. You know them. I had all of those because they were cheap. They were just a couple bucks, and the He-Man's was expensive. They were 17 to 22 guilders back at the time. So, yeah, makes sense that my parents didn't go for that. But I enjoyed He-Man, and I had one of those friends that had, like, everything Masters of the Universe. So I would just go home to his house, set up Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountains, the Fright Zone, Slime Pits, all the vehicles, Battle Cats, everything. And I enjoy it. But I didn't have a lot of it myself. I liked it. I really, really did. I really loved Masters of the Universe. But as a kid, this wasn't in the cards. I never had the figures that I really wanted, like Merman, which I thought was awesome. And I was completely hooked on Faker. Faker was my thing. A blue, evil He-Man robot. Just repeat that. Blue, evil He-Man robot. And let that sink in. Do you have any idea what that does to a child's brain? You have He-Man, the good guy, the most powerful man in the universe, and there's an evil blue He-Man robot. I mean, it's like bread and butter. That's just, it was awesome. I had to have it. I never got it. I got Faker years and years and years later, thanks to my friends at He-Man Fans. That's a Facebook page that you should visit if you love He-Man. Just go there. Very casual. These guys have some seriously cool shit. I mean, they have items that'll make you drool, and they are casual about it. Laser lights, meh, but they're cool guys. I love being in that group. So yeah, if you're ever in the neighborhood, stop by and look to He-Man Fans on Facebook. It's worth it. Quick zippity to really soothing my throat because I'm still coming down with something. I don't know what. Probably scared to go back to workovitis or something. But yeah, so Master of the Universe, loved it. Didn't have a lot of it. Had the knockoffs, like the Defender of the Planets line and The Other World by Arco, which were these bendable figures. Too small to be He-Man. Still, my parents mistook him for He-Man, but I enjoyed those. They were glow-in-the-dark. They had glow-in-the-dark weapons, and they were just shitty shit. They were so cool. A big question that gets asked a lot is, did you have Transformers? No, I didn't have Transformers. I did not have Transformers because they were too expensive, and I didn't like them. And now that I'm older, I want to get into Transformers, but I just I feel that I can't anymore because I don't know where to start. I mean, I can't see the forest from the trees anymore because sometimes I pick something up. It's like, oh, this is cool. Is this G1? Because I want it to fit into the collection. No, that's G whatever. I'm like, oh, G. Okay, so I want to. I have a few now. Spoiler ahead. I have a few now. I have Soundwave. I have Grimlock, Brawler, and one of those Twin Twist things. But I never had them as a kid. I had a friend who had tons and tons of them. And I was at his house, and he would then show me his Optimus Prime or his Maximus, whatever. And I'm like, okay, so you have a robot, you turn it into a car, and then what? You turn it back into a robot. Okay, and then what? They fight. Okay, wouldn't it be easier just to stay robot and fight? Or stay cars and ram? But, I just, it didn't connect to me. But I didn't connect with the cartoon either at the time. So probably that was just, one and one. Then, of course, the no-brainer in my toy collection as a kid, what was in my toy box? The Real Ghostbusters. And the Real Ghostbusters is basically where my toy collecting adventures ended as a child, because I kept that up and I enjoyed the Real Ghostbusters so much. I got every figure. I had everything that was released. I probably had, because I just bought it all. I worked my ass off, saved my allowance, bought more figures. Bought the cars, bought the house, bought the sets, bought the whatever. I had it. And mind you, I was a big kid. I was like, probably 11, 12? I was too big to wear the proton pack because that thing was for really small kids, but I still had it because it was a fucking proton pack. I couldn't wear it. It was like, it looked ridiculous on my back, but still I had it. And it all started with me seeing the movie in 1984 and wanting the toys, and we all know there were no toys related to the Ghostbusters back then, which was odd. I mean, we had Star Wars, He-Man, all these things were movie and cartoon related and had toys, and this one didn't. But okay, Indiana Jones had toys. Okay. But nothing Ghostbusters, and in like 2 years later... And the Ghostbuster hype stayed with me. It wasn't like something that faded. I still watched the movies a lot. I still listened to the soundtracks, had the posters, still loved Ghostbusters, loved playing the Ghostbusters, the games, and I had like this dress-up set that I made myself with a wooden proton pack and everything. It was insanely cool. And then I went to the Bart Smith, and my mom always used to go to the CNA, and I had to go I could go to the Bart Smith, and I'd wait for her there. And usually I got to pick out a toy. So I walked in, and I remember to the left there was this huge, and I mean huge, nothing you can like find anywhere today except perhaps in the Smith toys, insane display of real Ghostbusters toys. The logo was everywhere, wall to wall. And I walked in there, and I took it all in, and I think I stood there for at least 20 minutes, just froze, and took it all in, tried to understand what it was, because I hadn't seen the cartoon yet. The cartoon was released like 2 or 3 weeks later. But there was Ghostbusters. There they were. Peter, Egon. Hey, he looks weird. Winston. Oh, okay. Marshmallow Man, Slimer, Bat to the Bone. Don't know him. Ecto. Well, it was all there, and it was amazing. I was so hyped, super hyped. So I ran back to my mom and said, Mom, they have Ghostbusters toys now. And she gave me money. She said, wait, pick one up. Just, how much were they? I think they were 15 guilders or something. Pick one up. Just $14.99 or something, $14.95. Pick one up, take one home with you. So it was there in front of this big-ass display, looking at all these toys. Which one do I take home? Peter, Egon, Winston, Ray? I don't know. And their colors didn't make any sense. So in the end, I picked Ray, because Ray was the only one that was wearing an actual Ghostbusters outfit in the colors that I knew from the movie. So, played with him, caught the ghosts, you know how it goes, one-man mission. Soon joined by Peter, Egon, Winston, and I just kept on collecting. Ghostbusters 2 trailer was released. I was like, oh my god, there's even more. And I remember buying the Commodore 64 game, or getting the Commodore 64 game with the, where you have to lower your character into the sewer on a rope. I used to play that with the Ecto 2, just lower my figures from the table onto the ground, make them pretend to walk around in the sewer. I hadn't seen the movie back then, so I was like, oh, I wonder what they're going to do. And it just stuck with me. Ghostbusters was actually the last toy line that I played with and collected. In the 90s, I did continue. I mean, of course, I had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You couldn't escape Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because it was so big. I had the original lineup. I had all the figures, but they were on display. I didn't play with them anymore. They were just, in the cabinet or on the shelves, looking pretty, but I didn't play with them anymore. Ghostbusters was the last line I actually played with. We've got Batman, the animated series, as I mentioned before, which was something I wanted. I love Batman. I always loved Batman. I have a, soft spot for Batman. So, and let's face it, the animated series was good. I think that was prime Batman after Michael Keaton. So yeah, we got Batman. I got a couple of X-Men. I think I got 4 or 5 of them. And then I lost interest in what came next. I never was into Power Rangers. I never was into Big Bad Beetleborgs or whatever, the Kamen Rider, whatever the thing was. I was not into that. That's where they lost me for a bit. And then in 1999, or 97, I think, Kenner sucked me right back in with Star Wars. And that's where the adult section, that sounds a bit weird. I didn't mean it like that. That's where the toy box that I have now came in. I mean, I started with Kenner's Star Wars in the 90s, and I just collected that for a long, long time. I collected it way up into 2006, and then I had to sell it all due to circumstances beyond my control. And that was the major part of my collection for 10 years. I just collected the newer Star Wars lines. I had tons and tons of figures. I had so much. Vehicles, play sets. I had it all. And then I just let it go. And In hindsight, I don't think I had that much of a connection to it. It was just Star Wars. But, it was Star Wars and it was fun. But, yeah. Yeah, it's just, it was too mass-produced. I mean, how many versions of Darth Vader can you release in 10 years? Well, ask Hasbro or Kenner. I mean, they know. They know. It's like, there was like 15 million versions of a guy in a black leather suit. And they had all these variants in them, and I fell for him. And then I had to let him go. And I was actually completely without a collection for, I want to say, a year or 3. I just didn't want to collect anymore. I was done. I still felt the urge. I still got excited when I saw toys. And I was like, no, I'm not going to start it all up again. I had a couple things from my childhood, like the Ghostbusters I still had. And I was like, okay, this is fine. I'm good. I don't need to do this anymore. I'm a grown man now, or so I thought. And then I met my now wife, and she just, she was very much into dolls, figures, well, Disney dolls, and kind of got contaminated there. And to put it clearly, my wife still collects Disney. She just has a huge Disney doll collection, statue collection. She collects Monster High and, everything she fancies that tickles her fancy. She just, pop culture things she likes. So that, stimulated me to, go back into it again. And I started it up again. I took out my Ghostbusters, put them on display, and, this is terrible. I forgot something. Oh, my Lord, I forgot something in my old toy box, which is horrible that I forgot it because it was the main line I collected. I cannot believe it. That was G.I. Joe. I'm sorry, Joes. Yeah, between Ghostbusters, with Ghostbusters, and that was G.I. Joe. A little bit before, I collected G.I. Joe. Oh, I can't believe I forgot. I should have written it down. I knew I should have written it down. Now it's just a hodgepodge of like a mix and match of facts. But as a kid, I had a lot of G.I. Joe. I think I had more G.I. Joe than I had Ghostbusters at a certain point because it was affordable. And it started with Salthaus, which I got as a kid, and it was a military figure just after the A-Team, just after you got all the A-Team General Patch figures. And these guys had like movable elbows or like these wrists. You could turn them. And the Kung Fu grip, as they were called, I think. And I was like, oh, wow. And I had tons and tons of them. I kept collecting G.I. Joe way into the 90s until they got too colorful and too weird. And I'm like, okay, now you guys lost me. I think they lost me at the Astro Brigade. But I had a lot of G.I. Joe. They were affordable. They had these small sets that would only cost a couple of guilders. And you could just get them. And they were, And I had these bigger play sets. I had like the big tanks and the artillery pieces, and I just loved G.I. Joe. So yeah, but then when asked Ghostbusters or G.I. Joe, it would still be Ghostbusters because I think Ghostbusters is the line that I as I said, the line that I played with last. G.I. Joe lost me before that. I mean, like when they got too colorful, I'm like, okay. So I said way into the 90s, that's not true. Because it's probably around 88, 89 that G.I. Joe lost me. When they got to the Toxo, they got the old environmental stuff and the Astro Brigades. And I'm like, okay, that's where you lost me. That's not military. That's just bright neon guys. I didn't like that anymore. So, yeah. Okay, so the modern toy box. It's a bit of a back and forth. Sorry about that. But my modern toy box. What's in my toy box now? Well, a lot. And not necessarily stuff that I collected as a kid, but stuff that I wanted as a kid, or stuff that just tickles a certain nostalgic factor in me that I either want back or want to have. So there's well, of course, there's a lot of the usual suspects. I mean, I got a near complete G.I. Joe collection. I was going to say, but it's not near complete. But it's all the stuff that I wanted as a kid. I now have. I have the Sky Striker, the Dragonflies, the Tiger Force stuff, all the Cobra soldiers that I want, the Cobra operatives, the Joes that I wanted. I have them. I have a couple of boxed items, carded items, and I'm not going to complete that line because there's too many items in there that I really don't want to have, or just too expensive, like the Defiant Space Station or the USS Flag. And I mean, if I ever get the USS Flag, I'm probably going to have to move. My wife will divorce me. Ghostbusters, real Ghostbusters, still have them. I'm nearing completion. Figure-wise, I just need the Ectoglows. The original Ectoglows. I mean, I have the reissues. I have one regular Ectoglow, but I just acquired a full set. And I made a deal with the seller to pay in a few installments because it's a big chunk of change. Once they arrive here, I'm expecting just around Christmas, then I will have every figure of the real Ghostbusters. And then all the figures are there. Then I have just to collect some play sets and some monsters and like the Nasty Necks and the stuff like that, and the role play sets. But then, yeah, I'll have all the regular real Ghostbuster items in my collection. And it's still the one piece in my collection that I thoroughly enjoy, and that's like the instant time travel moment for me. It's the real Ghostbusters. I enjoy my G.I. Joe. If you ever see my room, you'll be like, dude, you have a lot more G.I. Joe than you have Ghostbusters. I think that's a little bit of deception because G.I. Joe takes up a lot of space because of, the fighters, the fighter planes, the tanks, the helicopters. They just swallow up a whole lot of space, but I don't think I have more G.I. Joe figures than I have Ghostbusters, but it just looks that way. I have some Masters of the Universe, but mainly the figures that I either wanted as a kid or had as a kid, once again. And for me, collecting is not like making a list of things I need. It's like walking past a booth and seeing an item and thinking, you're going home with me. I know it when I see it is my motto. I know it when I see it. I don't collect anything per se, but I know it when I see it. It's like, yes, that's something I want. It's the same thing happened to me a couple of months ago at Toyplosion, where I bought Baywatch watches from toyhunters.nl because they were Baywatch watches. And they just looked so funky and cool, and the price was right. I mean, Carson gave me a good deal. And I was like, sure, let's just get them. And there they were. I got them, and yeah, awesome. That's how I do things now. And G.I. Joe and Ghostbusters was a bit different because I also had to I wanted the Ghostbusters. I wanted everything back because of Ghostbusters, because it is Ghostbusters. G.I. Joe, I got a lot of items that I didn't have as a kid, but now could afford. Like the Sky Striker and stuff like that. Bigger items like the Night Raven, which I couldn't afford as a kid, but I can now. Or the Ghost Rider thing, the big stealth fighter. Oh, I forgot his name. No, it's not the X-30. But that's something I got back. Then I'm just walking past Star Wars. I have some Star Wars. I mainly have Empire Strikes Back related Star Wars items because that's my favorite Star Wars movie. So a lot of figures from the Star Wars line that I have, from the vintage line that I have, are from Empire Strikes Back. I got a box Tauntaun. I got a box Millennium Falcon. I got some of those mini rigs boxed, all Empire Strikes Back because it's Empire Strikes Back. And the one thing that I really, really would still like to have would be a carded Hoth Luke Skywalker. And I don't care, preferably on an Empire Strikes Back card, but I know that's going to set me back too much. So a Return of the Jedi card would be fine, or just a loose one with a card. I'll take it. So, yeah. Then there's a lot of Barbie, which is my wife's doing because she collects Barbie, but there's a certain charm and 80s-ness to Barbie, and especially like Barbie and the Rockers, which is like, blasphemy if you realize that I also collect Gem and the Holograms. And that's on me. Gem of the Holograms is totally me. Everyone assumes it's my wife, but no. Gem of the Holograms is me. I loved the cartoon as a kid. I never had the toys because there were toys for girls, and as I said in the first episode, my mom was afraid that I was going to get like teased with it, and she's like, "No, it's not safe for a boy to play with a doll because the kid will beat you up." And I was already being bullied, so she didn't want to risk it. I didn't care for it, but I never had them. But now that I can afford them and it's perfectly fine to collect, I think, I have them. And I have all the dolls. I have all the dolls, the regular versions, the second editions, first editions, whatever. I have most of the fashions. I just made a list of what I needed and sent it to someone. I'm waiting for a reply, and if she can hook me up with like half of it, I'll probably be almost done with collecting Gem. And Gem is just the 80s appeal of it all. Just looking at it, it screams 80s. I think it screams 80s more than Barbie and the Rockers does. It screams 80s because of the fashions, because of the music. The story was really good because it was really just G.I. Joe for girls. It was an adventure about two rivaling bands, and one being evil, one being good. Still more clear-cut. They don't come more clear-cut than that, do they? So I really, really, really enjoyed Gem and the Holograms. For the cartoons, I really wanted a doll, and I really wanted a pizzazz, which I never had until like 4 years ago, when a friend of mine, Stefan, actually enabled me to get my first pizzazz doll, which was really quite a moment because that was the doll that I didn't get as a kid. My mom wanted me to have one later on, but she couldn't find it anymore. She was sold out, and it was like, "Oh, Mom, don't bother. It's fine." And now I finally have her. And I now have her in like multiple versions. I got like Dutch box, I got Spanish box, I got English box, I got pizzazz galore because I just love pizzazz. So yeah, Gem and the Holograms, that's in my toy box now, which wasn't in my toy box before. And one thing that was not in my toy box also as a kid was Mask. I did have a few, but I never played with it. I never enjoyed it. I just got it because it was a cool cartoon. And I sold them to my cousin. And then later regretted it. And now I got a lot of Mask back. I got more Mask than I ever had as a kid. And I got a few nice box items like the Boulder Hill playset and the Mantha and the Dynamo. And I have Mask now, but I have it because it just triggers the nostalgia of the cartoon. Because I really love the cartoon, but I never cared that much for the toys as a kid. Same way I didn't care for Transformers. I was like, okay, this is odd. These transforming just stay in one shape and just attack each other like G.I. Joe does. And I as a kid, I never enjoyed the small size of the figures. Just like I didn't enjoy Starcom as a kid. I have 2 items now, but that's where it ends for me. I'm still not familiar with Starcom. I got some miscellaneous stuff in there too, like the 2000 Knight Rider card, which I didn't have as a kid, which is too expensive. I have it now. Captain Planet, never had it. My Little Ponies, probably I'm going to blame my wife for that. Got some Transformers, as I said, and I'm just going around the room. She-Ra, I got some She-Ra to go with my Masters of the Universe, and I love She-Ra more than I love Masters of the Universe in some ways because of the colors and the brightness. I mean, I got some carded She-Ra stuff, which is just insanely nice and amazing. I got some WWE or WWF. I refuse to call it WWE. WWF wrestling figures, the vintage ones, the old ones, the bulky ones, which you could actually play with. I had those. I had those as a kid, as a teen, I think, and I didn't play with them. I just looked at them. I didn't play. I just looked. And now I'm just going around the room. I got some Wuzzles. I never had them as a kid because they were 100 guilders a piece. Popples, same story. I have some Jurassic Park 1993 items now. I did have them when I was younger. That was in the same phase where I bought the Batman while going on a date. I had them. I never played with it. Just put them on display because they looked so amazing. Those dinosaurs are still top notch. Let's see. I should have prepped better. I should have prepped better. I got some Star Trek Playmates figures, the smaller, the ugly ones, just because I'm a Trekkie at heart. I love Star Trek. I love Star Wars. So to me, there's no comparison. There's just two awesome franchises that work or used to work. What else do I got? I got a lot. Damn, man, I got a lot of stuff. I got some TMNT, of course. I got some Turtles. Not a lot. I got the classic Turtles. I don't even have a Shredder or a Foot Soldier yet. I have a few Aprils. I got the Grappler a couple weeks ago on a whim. I was like, okay, I found it somewhere in storage, and I bought it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I might sell it. I don't know. And got a lot of vintage board games. So yeah, that's what's in my toy box. I should have actually prepped it better. But hey, if you want to know what's in my toy box now, just go to my Instagram and see what I got, because that's what's in my toy box. Did it change a lot? Yeah. I think some of the stuff that I didn't want to touch as a kid, like Transformers, Mask, I now have, because it is the nostalgia tickle that works for me. Like, oh yeah, of course. That I know that. I remember that in stores. I remember seeing it. It's like the Karate Kid. I got Karate Kid now from Remco. I never had those as a kid because I thought they were stupid toys. They were stiff. They couldn't do karate. But now I do have them because they look amazing in hindsight, and they tickle the nostalgia. Like, oh yeah, Karate Kid. Now with Cobra Kai. I mean, I'm always behind on those things. For me, it's now with Cobra Kai. Everyone else was like, oh yeah, Cobra Kai is like 3 years ago. But, you know, that's what's in my toy box. It's still the same stuff that I used to like as a kid, like Ghostbusters and G.I. Joe, mainly. Some He-Man, Star Wars, and, well, I never liked Barbies as a kid, but I never was against them. I mean, my cousins had them, and I enjoyed them for what they were. They were beautiful. They looked good. I never could get with the Playdate thing and, you know, pretending to drink tea, Barbie kind of stuff. But I liked them for what they were. And, yeah, the big center would be Gem and the Holograms now. I mean, most people nowadays... It was funny. I was at a toy show, and it's like, hey, aren't you Andre from the Instagram page? And I was like, yeah. You collect Gem and the Holograms, right? And I'm like, how did you know? And then she went, like, it's your shirt. I'm like, oh, yeah, of course. I was wearing a Gem and the Hologram shirt. Usually when I go to toy fairs, I'm like, just look for the one guy in a Gem and the Hologram shirt. That's me. It's probably still safe to say. So, yeah. Okay, I want to close off with is a little question or statement, whatever. I mean, I collect Gem and the Holograms, and I get mixed reactions. Some people think it's really cool. Some people find it really odd. What's your take on it? A guy like me, I mean, almost 50 years old, collecting Gem and the Holograms dolls. Does it set like a certain stage or like provide a certain stigma, or is it just like, hey man, be happy with it and enjoy whatever you do? Okay. 50 minutes plus. I was going to go for 45, so I failed. Yeah, so that much for now. I'm going to close it off. I want to thank you all for listening. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. I was promising myself I wouldn't do that. The likes and subscribe thing. Don't. There's an Instagram page where you can see me. There's a YouTube page where you can listen to this. If we're really close friends, you can, or you think we are, you can add me to Facebook if you haven't already. And for the people that reached out to me or are going to reach out to me, like, hey, I want to do this together. I mean, just wait. I'll get back to you on that. So now you know the structure of, you know, the show. It's going to be, hey, what did you do? What did you get? What was your toy box like? What's your toy box now? And that's it. You know, that's probably what it's going to be like. And if I don't have guests, then probably another episode about what I did and what I collected and what I got. So, yeah. Okay, thank you all for listening. Just enjoy the outro tune for now, and hope to see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Neon lights on the bedroom wall, cassette tape spinning, I had it all. Glow sticks cracking in the summer night. Slap bracelet snaps, were kids of the neon glow, MTV dreams on the radio. Dancing wild where the strong lights go. We didn't know where we would go. Roller skates on the cracked asphalt, Polaroid smiles, no filter default. The Walkman buzzed with our favorite sound. Rewind, flip tape, let it spin back around. Freeze the frame, don't let it fade. Our world was magic handmade.